Mischa, everybody!
Thank you. Hi, everybody.
First of all, guys, let's kind of talk about last night.
Hey.
Since 91 last night, and it was in Clapham.
Yep.
And we had a good time.
Yeah, it was really good. Really good.
So it was kind of like an old school R&B hip hop
90s pajama party.
Oh yeah, so we all went in our pajamas, as you probably see from the footage before.
Yeah.
You can see us a little bit tipsy. But yeah, it was interesting. So we got on the bus to get there, which was not that far. And then, yeah, we went in. It was cool. But yeah, it was a really good experience and we had a lot of fun. We did.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was interesting because the two men picked you up with your wheelchair.
Yep.
Which
so they lifted me up.
Literally lifted her up.
Yeah. That was fun.
It's like a magic carpet ride.
So can you tell us a little bit about, first of all, your condition?
Okay, so I am a full-time wheelchair user. I have a condition called McCune-Albright syndrome. And basically what that means is I've got like weakness in my bones, and my bones break really easily. I also have like, I don't like to use the word tumours because people tend to think cancer, but they are like tumours, but non-cancerous tumours in the bones, which cause a lot of pain, and they cause the bones to become brittle.
And when did you have this condition? When did it start?
So about 3.5 years ago, when I was at uni, I was in my third year of 4 years at uni, and it just presented really with a lot of pain when I decided to take up ballet, and I just got a lot of pain when I was dancing, and I went to the GP 12 times until they sent me for an x-ray, and they finally diagnosed me. They initially diagnosed me with a really aggressive cancer, which was really traumatic.
Yeah.
That was really difficult to deal with, and then they changed my diagnosis and they realised it actually wasn't a cancer.
Okay.
Which was good news.
Yeah. Damn, 12 times.
Yeah.
12 times, yeah.
It must have been so exhausting going back and forth, and it's frustrating as well when sort of doctors don't even know themselves, and they're obviously giving you information, and you're sort of thinking, oh my gosh, it's this, and then you go back next week, they're like, actually it's not that, it's something else.
Yeah.
It's I can imagine it's quite exhausting as well. So
It was, they just weren't
Yeah.
taking me seriously. I would go and say I've got a lot of pain
Yeah.
in my shin, and they were like, oh no, it's muscular, oh no, it's because you've been dancing,
Yeah.
oh it's because you're aching or whatever, and they kept telling me to put cold towels or hot towels on there, until one GP was finally just like, tell me where the pain is again, and I was like, it's right along my shin,
yeah.
and they realised it was along the bone, so they thought it might be like a very small fracture, and then that's when someone eventually sent me to an x-ray.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's good that you had one doctor then that listened. So
Yeah, after the 12 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that included like emergency walk-in centres and that kind
Yeah.
of thing as well, so it was really ridiculous that I took that amount
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
time. Yeah.
so I've known you from before you were in a wheelchair, and then obviously up till now.
Yeah.
How has your life kind of changed from being able-bodied? Is that the correct term to
No, they
use?
don't really use that term anymore.
Yeah, it's
'cause-
not, is it?
No, they
It's
used
kind
to
of-
use that,
yeah.
but that I'll tell you why the reason why they don't use that anymore is because when you class yourself as disabled, disability can be like a learning difficulty or a mental health issue or a physical disability. So able-bodied implies your physical body.
Yeah.
So you just say non-disabled.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you say like wheelchair user rather than in a wheelchair
Yeah.
or confined to a wheelchair or suffers from this condition. It's all
Right.
kind of progressive language
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the disability sector these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you were non-disabled,
Yeah,
Yeah.
just not disabled.
Yeah.
when you were not disabled, how's your life changed from being not disabled to now being a wheelchair user?
It's changed massively.
Yeah.
Really, really massively. I guess the biggest factor has been perceptions. So the way people perceive me,
Yeah.
the way that people think about me. A lot of people assume that I'm not mentally capable. A lot of people talk down to me or talk to me in a really slow, drawn out, loud voice. I get comments such as, you're really pretty for someone who is either disabled or
Hate
in a
that, I hate
in a
that.
wheelchair or using a wheelchair.
Yeah.
People who are surprised that I'm intelligent and that I've been to university and got a degree, did very well.
Very well, my add. Just want to throw that in there.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's been really difficult to manage people's perceptions, and a lot of people stare or people say, oh, what have you done to yourself, or what's wrong with you then? So that's been really difficult. But on the flip side, you get a lot of people that kind of overcompensate. So a lot of people kind of give me free donuts in Greg's, or give me a free taxi ride, or like I get pushed to the front in queues. For example, when we went out last night, we went straight to the front, which was quite nice.
Yeah. True.
So that's one fact that's been quite difficult. Something else that's been quite difficult is access. So as a wheelchair user, I use an electric wheelchair, and that electric wheelchairs are not really able to go over steps or lips in the curb or curbs, for example. My electric wheelchair will only go over about this much. So if shops have steps or cinemas have steps, or someone's house has steps, that presents a big problem for me, and that means basically that place is inaccessible for me, which makes it really difficult.
And I know you've obviously, when you moved home recently, I remember you said you were looking around for the takeaway shops and stuff like that, and you were like, oh, I think it was a sushi place.
Yeah,
remember,
across the
you were like,
road.
oh my gosh, you've got all these different stores, they're so easy to get to because they're literally on your road.
Yeah.
And then you went out to see if you could even get into them, and a lot of them you couldn't, or they had a step, or they were basically inaccessible.
That's right.
And it's really terrible, because I will say that I've worked with people with disability, but when I've been with you, I understand it even more so, like the challenges that's been presented. Like, I have to, like, if I wanted to suggest somewhere to you, I'll definitely think ahead to make sure that it's actually accessible, rather than saying, yeah, let's go here, and then was like, oh, we can't go. It's a bit insensitive in that sense. But I think, it's really challenging. And it must be really challenging for you as well. I mean, in clubs as well, obviously social life when you want to go out. I was thinking the other day that a lot of clubs have steps, like even different floors.
Or like to go to the toilets or something.
Yeah.
Like, how hard was it to go to the toilet, like when we first got in? Like,
Yeah, and there was we didn't find a disabled toilet as well, so I had to kind of manage in the ladies, which was quite tricky without the armrests and without the grab rails and without the space and that kind of thing. So that was really tricky. I have to kind of plan ahead before I go anywhere, like clubs and stuff. For example, when we went out for my birthday, I had to kind of look for a place that had full wheelchair access, and I had to call around to kind of get the kind of party that I wanted to go to, and also have the access. So these two things are kind of like things that I had to consider. Yeah.
It's quite isolating as well, because obviously as a young person you sort of just want to do all of the things that normal young adults are doing, and it's just like, but why can't I go to a club, just because it doesn't have steps or anything? Why doesn't it have that access? It's such a simple thing, and it's just not being done like in a lot of establishments. It's really sad to see.
Yeah, it's really difficult, and all it really requires, even if the building is not accessible, all it requires is to have a disabled toilet, and also for them to have, even if they don't have a permanent ramp, like a fold-out ramp that they can bring out and use if a wheelchair user wants to get into the building, they just fold it out. They cost about £70, for example, from any mobility shop, and that's all they need really. There are kind of two key terms to really think about when you think about disability. So there's an impairment. So an impairment is the physical or mental or learning condition that an individual has, and that for me, for example, is the pain in my legs, or the bones that are brittle in my legs. So my condition, McCune-Albright syndrome. For someone else it might be epilepsy, or it might be multiple sclerosis, or it might be autism, for example, and that's the impairment. And disability is something that is kind of created by the environment. So there's something called the social model of disability, and that's basically states that disability is not self-inflicted. Disability is created by lack of provision in the environment. So for example, I have an impairment, yes, but I wouldn't be disabled if there weren't any disabling factors in society. So if everywhere was fully wheelchair accessible, things were in my reach, there were ramps, there were accessible toilets, then really I wouldn't have a disability. There'd be no disadvantage. So that's kind of the difference between impairment and disability. And impairment doesn't always lead to disability, but society kind of creates an environment for people with impairments that lead them to be disabled. So lack of ability to do this or this or this.
I know you spoke about kind of perceptions. I'm gonna get a little bit deep here.
Okay.
Relationships.
Okay.
You're not currently in a relationship now, are you?
I'm not in a relationship now, no.
So you're single.
I'm single. Hey,
On the
market.
Apply with it.
No basic boys though.
No basic.
Can't be basic.
Reference is required.
But I know you spoke about perceptions of the public in general, but do you feel like the perceptions of how guys see you have changed, if at all?
Definitely. So I found it difficult initially being around friends. and the way that my friends saw me. So I didn't expect them to kind of change the way they treated me, but I was really sensitive to it. So even though, for example, you guys never changed the way that you treated me, and I never felt any difference in the way that you treated me. Sometimes it's slightly tricky. So for example, on the night out last night, I needed these guys to push me in my manual wheelchair because I couldn't bring my electric wheelchair. So that kind of means that I have to ask if it's okay, and that's just like, you know, is it okay for me to ask? I feel kind of awkward because I shouldn't need someone to push me. It's like someone carrying you around, you know, kind of controlling where you go and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's been tricky. I've kind of gone off topic, haven't I? You're talking about relationships.
No, it makes sense though.
Yeah.
But how does that kind of make you feel? I know you said it's tricky, but how does that make you feel?
It kind of makes me feel like a child, or like I'm not in full control of myself. It's better in my electric wheelchair because I have more independence.
Yeah.
But when needs required, I do need to use my manual wheelchair for some things, like last night, and that just means I have like greater access to things because manual wheelchairs can be lifted. As much as it's not a very dignified way of entering, the other option is just to not go at all.
Right.
So, you know, what do you choose to do? So with friends initially, I was afraid of kind of being around my friends initially in my wheelchair, because I just thought like it might upset them or they might treat me differently. But over the time, I've just found that it's just completely cash, like completely fine. And the guys that I knew before have been really, really great. Like I've got a few really great guy friends, and when I got ill, they really stepped in to do stuff for me and help me and carried me upstairs and helped me. When I got stuck, for example, when I first started getting sick, I was still walking for a while, and then I'd get stuck because I couldn't walk anymore because things would start breaking and fracturing and stuff, and I'd have to get my guy friends to come and like carry me into the car and take me to hospital or take me home or whatever. So they've been really great. But in terms of guys that I meet, I find that guys kind of treat me in the same category as like a child or an elderly person. So like someone to be taken care of, rather than kind of an independent, autonomous young lady.
Same level sort of thing.
Exactly. So that's difficult, and I try to portray myself as, you know, independent and, you know, still a woman and still with needs. You know, I would like to be in a relationship at some point. Why should I not be able to just because I can't walk?
Yeah. I remember you said to me, like, I feel like people have a perception that a wheelchair user or disabled person needs to be in a relationship with a disabled person or a wheelchair person.
That's so weird. Like that's not. How do you get my words out? It's just such a weird thing to say. It's just like saying like an Asian person can only be with an Asian person. Or like I'm trying to think of other kind of protected characteristics. So like, I don't know, a pregnant woman can only be friends with other pregnant women. It's just such a weird thing to say. Like, we're all just humans. Like, just because you're disabled or have a disability, it doesn't mean you should. I mean, if you want to find a partner with a disability, fine. That's absolutely fine. That's, you know, if you want to have sex and have a relationship and, you know, do whatever, you know, with a disabled person or without a disabled person, fine. But why should it be confined to just having a relationship with another disabled person?
But I mean, there's like, do you know the show Undateable? I guess in some way, I think a lot of people don't actually understand a lot of disabilities anyway, in general. And then when you have shows that kind of give you insight into disability, like the Undateables, I feel like people would get that perception, like, oh, look at them, like,
they're so cute.
You know, a young woman with Down syndrome is now finding another man who's got Down syndrome, and they're living together and they're happy, and they should all be together.
It can be quite patronising. It's very. Because it is very like, oh, you know, like, look, they eventually found love against all of the odds.
Why should there even be odds in the first place? And the title of that show, Undateables, like, seriously guys, Channel 4, come on. Like, Undateables, are you saying this is undateable? Okay.
It's not undateable. She's undateable. Okay.
I can verify So obviously there can be more if you want, but if you could pick 3 things that you would like to see done differently in society, or the way how people approach you as a person, and obviously not just looking at you as, because I mean the thing about sort of people when they look at disabled people as well, they tend to focus on, you know, the physicalness of the disability. For example, they'll just focus on the wheelchair and they'll forget that you're sort of just you're still a human being at the end of the day with thoughts and feelings just as much as any other person. They'll just focus on just, you know, the crutches or the wheelchair or whatever, and it's just like all of their sense just goes out of their mind sort of thing. So if there's 3 things that you'd like to be done differently, or sort of what you'd like people to know so that they could do differently, what would that be?
I think people panic when they encounter people with a disability.
Yeah.
And I think due to kind of a lack of awareness, people don't really know how to treat people with disabilities. I certainly didn't have much awareness of it before I became a disabled person myself 3 years ago. I guess what I just like to say is approach the situation as you'd approach anyone else. You know, just talk to a disabled person normally, and don't focus on the impairment or the mobility aids or the learning difficulty or the mental health difficulty. You know, I've had often people say, "Oh, there's a wheelchair coming through." It's like, I'm not just a wheelchair, you know, I'm a person in a wheelchair. You can say, "Oh, a lady using a wheelchair," or "A lady with a wheelchair is coming through," or "Somebody with a wheelchair is coming through." You know, not just a wheelchair is coming through. You know, I won't be.
It's not a magic wheelchair, guys.
Yeah.
It's just a wheelchair going through on its own.
Yeah, exactly. A wheelchair by itself.
Makes sense. There's a wheelchair coming through.
Phantom wheelchair.
It's true. That's a good point.
Yeah. So treat the person as a person. And if you feel that you need to adapt your communication style to meet the situation following that initial interaction, then you can do so. So for example, if you realise the person is a British Sign Language speaker, for example, if you don't speak BSL, maybe you can write things down, for example. You know, that's perfectly fine. But talk to somebody initially when you strike up a conversation. Talk to somebody like you just talk to anyone else. Don't assume anything. I think that's the most dangerous thing, is making assumptions. Like we were talking about when I said people talk to me really slowly or assume I'm not very intelligent. One more thing, right?
Don't worry,
that's number 3 now. We'll come to number 3 now.
So, okay, people offering help. Okay, so I am so grateful for every offer of help I get. I really, really am. You know, because sometimes I need help. Sometimes we all need help. And let's face it, society is not really constructed for people using a wheelchair. And sometimes, most of the time, I can open doors by myself. But the only doors I can't really open are those really narrow double doors. So where each door is really narrow and you have to open both of the doors. Because my wheelchair can get through most doors, like 90%, 99% of the doors my wheelchair can get through. But if it's a really narrow double door, I can't really open both doors and also wheel my wheelchair in at the same time. So that's kind of one of the few occasions that I might need help. So when people are offering help, I'm really grateful for your offer. Thank you so much. Please don't stop offering. But it's when people force their help on you. They ask me, "Oh, Mischa, would you like some help with? Oh, hi. Would you like some help with that door?" I say, "No, thank you. I'm fine." And they're like, "No, I'll get it for you." I'm like, "No, thank you. I'm fine. Thank you." And they're like, "No, I'll do it." And it's like, okay.
No, but this actually happened. Do you remember when we went to Camden and you were getting in a taxi and I was helping you? But I wasn't helping you, but you were fine. You were doing it. And this guy came over, obviously being a nice person that he was, offered to help. And Mischa was like, no, it's fine. She literally said no like 15, 20 times. This guy just kept saying, "I will help you. I will help you. I work in a hospital. It's okay. I know what I'm doing." It's like, look. She's got this. At the same time, in some way, it can make you kind of feel like, again, like, I don't know, you correct me if I'm wrong. It can almost make you feel like you're not capable of doing some things on your own. And it kind of puts you in that mindset again of like, oh, I'm kind of feeling helpless now and I have to have somebody to help me. Listen, if the person says, "No, I don't need help," just accept
Just
it.
trust
Yeah.
it.
Obviously, offer the help, which is
Yeah.
fine. You know when you need help or not.
Yeah.
So you will say,
Yeah.
yes, I need help, or no, I do not need help.
Yeah.
Listen to what the person's saying.
Yeah.
She's pretty much
Because
just
obviously
said it.
they've been living with the condition for, you know, I mean, obviously you've been adapting yourself for these things, so you've been sort of teaching yourselves how to do things independently. So
Yeah.
it's not as if you're sort of completely unable to do things. You can do a lot of things for yourself. You are very independent.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think it's just trusting in that.
Yeah.
If someone says no, then it's fine. I
Yeah.
think people just, like you were saying earlier about overcompensating,
Yeah.
I think people like that feel-good factor because then they can walk away and be like, I did something good.
Something
for
I
good.
helped a disabled person
Good
today.
deed done for the day. Put it on their Facebook status.
Helped a disabled person open a door today.
Honestly.
Win.
So many people like this.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you're such
So
a nice
it is-
person.
Yeah,
well
you're so
done.
compassionate.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that leads me on to something that makes me so bad. Oh
come
my
on.
goodness. When there are Facebook posts that are circulating at the moment of, for example, a man or a boy without a disability taking a girl with a disability to prom.
Okay,
Right.
yes.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. I've
It's
seen
not.
this.
He's not brave. He's not a martyr. He's not, you know, an amazing person. You know, if he wants to invite the person to the prom, he should do it from kind of pure intentions, and I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
So when people kind of say, oh, you know, even though she's disabled, you know, he still took her. That's amazing. That's not amazing.
And it goes viral. so,
Yeah.
like,
You know the thing is, people are so PC about it as well. They won't say that, but they'll say it in other ways, like, oh yeah, like, oh, he's such a good person. But
Yeah.
we all know why they're saying that.
Yeah.
And it's just like sometimes that's even worse than them coming out saying, oh, it's only because she's disabled. That's
Yeah.
why he's with her. Sometimes it's the politeness that's more offensive. So,
Yeah.
you know,
It's true.
Yeah, so it's not brave, he's not
Yeah.
being amazing, he's just probably taking his friend to the prom.
Yeah.
That's probably all it is.
Yeah.
You know, one human being will take another human being
Listen,
to the
they've
prom.
probably known each other for so many years. Like,
Yeah.
It's not new to them.
Literally.
Like, it's not like, oh, he, you know, just does. They've probably known each other for such a long time. It's like me taking you to the prom. I don't expect anyone to be like, oh my gosh, Temi, how wonderful of you. But it's funny because there's been times where, I remember the first time you came here and I took you out. Well, I took you out. We went out together.
Yeah.
I took you out. People kept looking at me. Remember I said it to you, I said, people keep looking at us. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, people
And-
think you're my carer.
Yeah, so people
Yeah.
would look at me like, great. It's a great thing you're doing.
Good job.
It's a great thing you're doing there. And I'm just like, she's my friend, guys. In my head, obviously, but but it's just interesting to see people's body language and how they respond and how they kind of interact with people. And then when we went out in Camden as well, people just kept coming up to you like, you're so beautiful.
Yeah.
You're so beautiful.
You are. They would like grab my face and like, you are so,
You are so
beautiful. As if they want to say you're so beautiful. You know, just because you're disabled, it doesn't. You
Listen,
are so
you are beautiful. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You are beautiful. That's
Thank you.
true.
It's nice to be called beautiful, but.
Yeah.
I guess it's the reason behind them saying it. If they genuinely think I'm beautiful, then thank you so much. I'm honoured. Thank you. That's really lovely of you to say.
Yeah.
And with us saying kind of being a great person, I think being a great friend, you can be a great friend in lots of different ways. And I do appreciate Temi for example, pushing me in my manual wheelchair when we go out together if I'm not able to use my electric chair for any reason. And I am appreciative and I say thank you.
Yeah.
But I think with friendship kind of comes these things, and for example, the boy who took his friend to the prom, I wouldn't expect you to have to be like, oh, that's amazing, that's absolutely amazing. It's like, yeah, it's really nice because a guy took a girl to the prom, but that's it.
Yeah.
Like, it's great that you push me in my wheelchair, but
Yeah.
that's it. I'm grateful for that, and
I wouldn't expect any more, like, or less. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't. It's not like I would want like someone to be like, give me an award for for pushing you in your wheelchair.
Yeah, you do it for the gratification.
yeah.
It's just because you're good friends and you always have been.
Yeah, we always have been. Listen, we've been good friends from day
Yes,
dot,
girl.
fam.
Can I talk about one more thing?
Yeah.
Please. One thing that really grates me, right, is so I'll be in a supermarket, peacefully and quietly doing my shopping, picking up cereal or whatever. And this happened in the cereal aisle actually, so hence saying picking up my cereal. So a woman decided to fully reach her whole arm and armpit over my head in order to reach her own cereal, you know, at a shelf higher than me. And I said to her, I can move out of the way. And she said, no, it's fine. I just want everyone to know that I'm not a tree. Like, I can actually move.
Yeah.
You know, just because you're using a wheelchair, it doesn't mean you're not able to move. You know, it might be more difficult for somebody, maybe, I don't know, with a walking stick, for example. But we can move, you know. You don't have to feel like you're offending me by saying, excuse me, please. It's perfectly justifiable for you to say, excuse me, please, just like you'd say to anyone else.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to reach your whole body over me. I don't want your breast touching my head. I don't want your arm touching my nose. Like, I don't appreciate that. Like, you can tell me to move. It's fine.
Like, you have your own personal space as well.
Yeah. That's very important, I think, as well. I think people disrespect that. The moment they know you're disabled, I think people just disrespect personal space.
Even coming up to you and squeezing your cheeks to say you're beautiful. Like, who does that?
Or like moving you sort of thing. Has anyone ever done that to you? Like moved your wheelchair?
I have people, like, I don't mind friends doing this, right?
Yeah.
But people kind of lean on my wheelchair and it's just like, but you don't know me. Like, why? Like, my wheelchair is like an extension of me, you know? Like,
sorry, I just remembered a thing.
Okay. Okay. So like, if these guys, you know, lean on my wheelchair, fine. You know, it's like me going like that to Rowena or me going like that to Temi. It's fine, you know. But if I don't know you, don't lean on my wheelchair. Don't sit in my wheelchair.
That's what I was gonna bring up. That guy who sat in your wheelchair.
What?
And it was so. We were all just staring at him like he was really drunk, but he literally just came over. With intention, you can see that was probably something he was trying to do all night. But she has got up and moved, and then he just sat in there. And
it's not a public chair. It's not public property.
But he was doing it. Clearly, he was drunk, but he was doing it like.
Yeah, and what? You know, take pictures of me. Look, I'm in a wheelchair.
And his friends were recording, and these are older guys. These are men that were in their 40s, like 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
And I just.
That's disgraceful.
Yeah.
That's absolutely disgraceful.
I was just so like dumbfounded by it. I was like, excuse me, come and get your friend. Come and get your friend. Come and get your friend. You get your friend. Get your friend.
I lose my shit.
Get to my friend. And I think eventually, someone else moved him. A lovely friend.
We met. A lovely guy.
Yeah, and he kind of helped move. Yeah, which was really nice. But it's a personal space, and don't cross your boundaries.
Yeah.
If I don't know you, don't sit in my wheelchair. Like, most of the time I don't mind friends sitting in my wheelchair. If I'm like sitting on the bed and they sit in my chair, that's fine. But ask me first.
Don't just assume.
I think the key to this is just communication, you know. All of this communication in there's a different sense. And situations, but you know, you are a human being. It's okay to talk to you and ask you questions. Do you need help? No, I'm good. Okay, have a lovely day. Bye.
Honestly, that's all it takes.
Yeah, literally. Sorry, can I just sit in your wheelchair? Okay, yeah, you can. Oh, actually, no, sorry, you can't do that. Okay, cool. It's literally just asking a question.
I think the worst thing with this as well, and it's applicable to any situation in life, whether that be relationships or anything, is to assume. And I feel like to have this conception of someone before you've even had a conversation with them, to assume that they can't have an intelligent conversation just because they're in a wheelchair, or like you were saying about how you know, if someone speaks sign language, sort of thinking, oh, I can't communicate with them. You can write stuff down, you can text it on your phone or whatever. There's other ways. Assuming that you can be able to reach over them and things like that, I think that's such a bad thing, just assuming in general. And I feel like you were saying, just having that communication first and testing out the vibes first of what's cool and what's not, rather than sort of just approaching someone and just having these crazy assumptions.
Preconceived ideas.
That's right. I think that's something we don't want people to be doing.
And also we've met a lot of nice people as well at the same time, just in general. In life, in the walk of life anyway, you meet some really cool people, and there are people that I see do when we're out, like, oh, you okay, do you have a good night? And they really are, and it's nice to see people interacting with people and, you know, just generally just being kind of nice
even
people.
when we went to the event yesterday, you, like there were so many girls who were smiling at us,
Yeah.
and I found that so refreshing because normally when you walk into a club, girls will just but it was so refreshing to see people. I mean, not saying that they would be passive and like stepping out of the way, but they were smiling at us, and everyone was just could tell that we just had a good time and everything. Yeah, it was just natural. So yeah, that was nice to see as well.
I guess the point is to really think about why you're doing things.
Yeah.
So if you're smiling at someone because they're a wheelchair user, that's wrong.
Yeah.
If you're smiling at someone because they're a person and you're smiling at them because you want to smile at them, smile at them.
Yeah.
And if you see that someone needs help or someone might need assistance, then it's not. It's a nice thing to do.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to ask as well.
I'm really grateful for help that I get all the time. But don't feel like you have to treat me any differently just because I sit in a wheelchair most of the time.
I want to kind of throw this out there to people who might be watching, but any other person who is has a disability or an impairment or anything, mental health issues, I kind of want to know, what do you want to see more of in society? Like, I would love people to comment in the comment section below or reach out to any of us and just
let us know your personal experiences.
Yeah,
and just obviously everyone goes through different things.
Yeah, exactly. And share that with us. So I want to know what can we do to make things better for people in our community that we live with. And that'd be nice, isn't it? To see, because I think other people who might not have a disability or not be a wheelchair user can also learn from it as well, and they can also be like, okay, I've never really encountered that, but if I did, what can I do? You can see from other people. That'd be really nice. So please share your thoughts down below, guys. That'll be much appreciated. And I hope you've enjoyed the video.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Yes,
for a really good talk.
Thank you, ladies.
No problem. Enjoy the sunshine while it's out, guys.